He knew that Paulina's body was in the bathtub.
Ho also knew he had no money and had not paid rent on the apartment in months. Detectives confronted him with the state of his finances and asked him to explain the strange contradictions in his story. But he could not. They moved on to a more incriminating piece of evidence, the bite mark. Again, he had no explanation and denied having committed the act. The final autopsy report provided the final piece of the puzzle.
Well, hopefully it'll be good.
Stomach contents found at autopsy indicated that the victim had died about 1 hour after eating dinner on Monday, January 9th.
It's our belief, as a result of the stomach contents, that she was killed sometime around her supper time. The dinner that she was going to have was consistent with what we found at autopsy, and those kind of things, they don't lie. That's fact. That's evidence. She has broccoli, full piece of broccoli in her stomach. She has a full piece of carrot in her stomach. That's evidence. That doesn't go away. So couple that with Mr. Ho's statement that he was with her and nobody else was with her from 1:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. It was obvious to me that Mr. Ho killed Paulina.
There remained one unanswered question. If Ho killed Paulina, then how could Ed Casco's semen still be inside the victim? Dr. Susan Kern turned to semen viability studies for answers.
Semen can be typed up to approximately 7 days. This case, the samples were collected additional days after that, and that would have been due to the fact that her body was in a very cold environment. Case occurred in the winter. The door was open, the washroom would be cold where she was found, and the temperature would be number one in slowing down any decomposition of the biological material.
Okay, Mr. Ho.
Detectives finally had their man. Gilbert Ho was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. According to the landlord, Ho had been informed that his tenant would be evicted on January 10th. Police theorized that he never told Paulina, hoping to maintain her affections as long as possible. It was a strategy doomed to failure. Ho had run through his savings. On January 9th, with only hours to go before her eviction, Ho showed up at the apartment.
Hi, Gilbert.
For one last night.
How are you? Oh, great.
It's my position that she had no idea that morning that she was going to be evicted because nothing was packed. If she knew she was going to be evicted, you would have thought she's a responsible girl. She would have packed a bag. She wouldn't have just allowed the sheriff to come in, throw everything in garbage bags, and throw it out on the street.
Ho did not leave the apartment as he testified to police.
2 weeks without a working fridge.
And Paulina was expecting no late-night guest. Gilbert Ho was the last man who saw her alive.
Ho knew that that was the day. That particular day that he killed her, she had to be out the next morning. So he had no choice. That was the night. Because he couldn't afford to continue on with this type of lifestyle with her.
On June 21st, 1996, Gilbert Ho was convicted of the murder of Paulina Gerasimov. He was sentenced to life in prison.